Hey, this is Rick Kaselj from Fix My Shoulder Pain. This is a special video for Nick Nielsen and his friends, fans, and followers. Nick had sent me a question from yourself or one of his friends, fans, or followers when it comes to bench pressing and shoulder pain. If I had any tips that for someone that ends up getting shoulder pain when they do the bench press. And there's probably two things that I would end up recommending. Elbow position and bringing in more muscle into the bench press. And let me kind of explain both of those. Elbow position, when I'm doing the bench press, the higher my elbow is away from my body, the less stable my shoulder is. And the reason why is, as I bring that arm out to the side, I'm getting less help from the variety, the three groups of muscle groups in the shoulder that end up providing stability and strength to that shoulder. So what I would want to do is bring down that elbow position. So not high. When it's high, it ends up putting lots of strain on the rotator cuff. And when I bring it back down, I can end up bringing more muscle groups in order to provide good stability in that shoulder, a nice stable platform in that shoulder, and then I can end up going harder when it comes to bench press and protect my shoulder. Now the second thing what I end up meaning, and what ends up happening is, if I end up bringing it lower, I end up, the bar ends up being in a lower position of my chest. Now the second thing ends up being, when it comes to other muscle groups that come in, if I end up having the elbows high, maybe not this high, a little bit lower, it's difficult to bring in other muscle groups to help stabilize that shoulder so I can end up getting a good push in the bench press. Now if I bring it down, I'm able to activate my scapular muscles a lot more. So the scapular muscles end up stabilizing that shoulder blade. And then with my elbow down, I'm able to activate and bring in that lat to really create some rigidity and stability in that shoulder so that I can end up getting a good push in the bench press. So there you go. So that would end up being the two tips that I would end up recommending for you if you end up getting shoulder pain from the bench press. Would be bring the elbows down, so you can get more involvement from other muscle groups. And then when that elbow's down, really activating those shoulder blade muscles, having them turned on, and then bringing in that lat, and then having both of them provide good stability in that shoulder, which ends up allowing you to create greater push in the bench press. Now, one thing to remember is, since we start tweaking your technique, it might take a little bit of time, a couple sets, a couple days to kind of get used to the new technique, because you've been doing the old technique, which puts a little more stress and strain on the shoulder. Now we've kind of tweaked your technique, and now we kind of need to re-educate your brain, re-educate your muscles, and re-educate your joints in that new movement. So, this is Rick Kaselj for Nick Nielsen and all his friends, fans, and followers. Two tips when it comes to making the bench press, shoulder pain free. So this is Rick Kaselj from Fix My Shoulder Pain, saying take care and bye-bye.